Alright, what's up guys? So we're actually picking up right where the last episode ended. So if you haven't watched that video, I will put the link right up there. So last episode we got the engine bay all sorted out, all painted, cleared, everything's done. Fender wells are now bed linered just like the rear, and today we actually get to put the front subframe in and get the suspension in so it matches the rear. So all around me right now I have all the suspension. Also, if you guys haven't been watching the last episodes of putting the rear suspension in, definitely go check those out. I'll put those up there as well. But today we're going to be finishing up putting in the ISC coilovers along with some, those are literally the only two OEM things besides the rack that are going in. So white line sway bar just like the rear. I've got my freshly powder coated front subframe along with the refreshed front knuckles that I finished up. So these coilovers, quick thing, big thank you to ISC for doing this for me, that these coilovers, just like the rear, are meant for the GC8's era Impreza. So the rear top hat for the coilover is meant for the bolt pattern that these coupes have, or that these 90 Imprezas have. Front is the same. In their kit, obviously it comes as a 90s Impreza kit. So the lower portion that bolts to the knuckle is obviously meant for an Impreza. Well, my knuckles are in 06 STI. So the bolt, what I'll call the bolt pattern and width, is completely different. So luckily I know all the guys over at ISC, and they were kind enough to just ship me out the 06, well 05 to 07 I think, lower strut mount piece. I guess I'll call it a collar. Got those shipped out to me. All I had to do was ship out the other ones. So I could get these installed onto here. I also got to check the preload. But one thing that ISC came out with after I already got these coilovers, because I think I said in one of the rear suspension episodes, I got these coilovers actually over a year ago now. But some of this hardware up here for the top plate, I actually have some titanium stuff from them. So this is fairly new for them to do. I think it's only been a couple months now, and I haven't seen too many people doing it. But they sell titanium kits. So see, like right here, I have some gold titanium nuts, which are meant for these right here for the upper top plate. Then I have their hex Allen bolts for right here to adjust the camber. And then I just have two of the gold titanium lock nuts for the top of here. So I didn't buy them for the rear. I kind of cheaped out a little bit. Didn't buy them for the rear, only because you can't see them. The engine bay with the strut tower obviously on top, when you pop the hood, you can see it all. So that is the reason why I got the titanium hardware for the front, not the back. You can't see it in the back. So I'm going to start with getting the subframe up into here. I already have the new studs that come through the frame. Already have some anti-seize on them. So now I am ready to just try and lift up this subframe just like I had to do for the rear, and then get the nuts started. I also have new nuts right here for it as well. So let's start getting the subframe in. Alright, so that was nice and easy. That actually wasn't as heavy as I thought it was going to be. So now, nice gold subframe in. I'm absolutely loving this color gold with all the black, just like the rear. I'll give you another look at the rear, just because I'm obsessed. Everything looks so good, so clean. So now I think what I'm going to do is start figuring out the control arms. So control arms, when I had it at work, I got the ball joint out from right here, and I also pressed out the bushings from right here. So I have new white line bushings that need to go in, I just need to figure out where they are in one of the boxes, get those pressed in real quick, and then figure out the caster as well, this rear bushing, because I have the white line caster kit for this as well. So I need to get those two boxes, and then I can keep on.
Night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. In the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. You guys just watched me get these bushings in. The center section I used the vise to press it in, but it actually went in so smooth. I think I might have actually just been able to put them in by hand, but nevertheless, they're in. So now I've got the white line caster kit. So this thing, I always love how white line stuff comes. Like, this is in a super nice box. Obviously not that the packaging really matters, but to me it does. I really like the way it looks. It's all nice and clean, it's all nice and organized. Same with the anti-dive kit as well. But so these, let's see if I can get them out with one hand. I might not be able to. Yeah, hang on. Okay, so these, I can't quite remember which one I got, but that's their part number right there for it. This wasn't their race kit because it had a Heims joint instead, but I don't believe this was their street kit either. I think they had an in-between, because this is a urethane bushing that's in here. So I don't know if their street kit had like a rubber bushing, and then this is like their street track when it's a urethane, but it's not like solid, and then they have a track version. It came with these like nice little like billet gold pieces that I was really hoping I was going to be able to use, but after reading through a little bit of the instructions, those are meant for if the car has that chassis bracing that bolts from like the radiator support, comes back to I think these right here, and then also bolts down over there. It's some type of like extra frame chassis stuff, and this car, I don't have that, so unfortunately I don't get to use any of this nice gold hardware. I just use everything that's in this bag. So, seems simple enough. It's pretty much the way I took the old ones off. I just have to look at how all this goes, and then I will get them on the control arms, and then we'll get them in the car. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. So now the control arms are in. I struggled. You were probably able to see it in the time lapse that these bushings did not want to go in this little tiny area. This side I didn't time lapse, but I got this one in as well. These are tight, and this back nut is tight on both sides. But besides that, this is still loose because just like the rear, I'm going to wait until I get everything on and it's on the ground, and I'll do a final once over of all the suspension, tightening everything down. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and we're going to get the coilovers in, and then we'll be able to put the knuckles on. Now when ISC gives you the option to upgrade to gold titanium hardware, how do you say no to that? That looks sweet, nice and shiny. Luckily, putting them on, they don't really get marred at all or like damage the coating that's on them. So I'm going to swap this one over, and then we're going to throw them both in the car. Always be my night sky. You're the night sky, hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see all blue. There is so much cold in you. Okay, and just like that, we have the two coilovers in. So the reason why I wanted to go with black, I forget if I explained it in the actual engine bay paint video, but the reason why I wanted to go with black is one, because of all the gold subframe stuff, but two, because of the ISC suspension parts. So the black with that gold looks amazing, especially with now all the gold titanium hardware. All looks super nice. I think what I'm going to do for now to preserve all of this, I'm just going to tape the upper strut tower areas when we're doing all the work on the firewall and getting the engine and stuff in, and then one of the last things before it's completely done, we'll just peel the tape off of it just to kind of preserve that whole area up there. But now it's time to get the knuckles on, and I got to put these ball joints in the bottom of them, and then we'll get this side put together.
The silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time, I can't find the point where our two pass the line.
Okay, and just like that, now the knuckles are on. So I've got brand new bolts for the strut right there. We've got the white line. You won't really be able to see it right now. There we go. The white line bump steer correction kit. Same with this side. This side's all back together too. So now I'm going to bring it up. We're going to get the sway bar on, and that'll be as much as I can do for tonight.
I'm trying to see your stars, but I always fear the dark. Now I see brightly, I can feel your silence. You always feel so far.
Alright, so the sway bar is in. I am not 100% confident that is the way that it's supposed to go, just because it gets fairly close to the lower control arm. So I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to go. Also, I need to recenter it, because see how that end link is pretty much straight. This one over here is a little slanted. So I also don't know for sure if these were WRX end links. These were the ones that came off of the black STI swapped one originally. I don't know what sway bar it had. This is the STI kit. So I'm not sure if I have to use the white line end links or if I could use these. I wanted to use these since that they're Heim joints and that they're billet aluminum. But if I have to, I'll go over to the actual ones that came with the kit. But I like these little lock collar things that it came with. These brackets I brought to work. Well, actually I sandblasted first, then I cleaned them up, brought them to work, and I painted them. Got new hardware for those. And now that is all together as well. So like I said, I'll look up exactly how that sway bar is supposed to go, and then I'll finalize it from there. But unfortunately I'm out of time for today, so I can't get the power steering rack in, but that will be the next step for this video.
Alright, so we're back a couple days later. It's been pretty much the weekend. I was up in Vermont, so now I'm back. And just off camera, I just installed the power steering rack. Before I got that in, I had to install the white line urethane bushings. So those are the new bushings installed. There's another new bushing right here. All of it's re-greased. The cool thing was that I didn't expect is that the white line kit actually comes with a little tool to actually press out the old bushings from this side that gets bolted in. When I had the steering rack at my work, I already used our press there to press out the old bushings, so I didn't need this tool, but it was actually really nice and really cool that the kit actually came with that. I did not expect that. So then the only other thing that I changed was the sway bar end links. So I wasn't 100% sure if those other end links that I had, these right here, I am not sure if the previous owner had a WRX or an STI sway bar on it. I'm not 100% sure. So I just installed the ones that came with the white line kit. Obviously nothing is tight, but just figured install all white line stuff just to make sure all of it fits correctly. And I've also centered the sway bar better. These are the new bump steer correcting outer tie rods with their lower ball joint right there. Steering rack is in. I figured I'd just throw this plate on now since that's all buttoned up. I was about to put the chase phase power steering lines on, but then they're going to be up in the engine bay in the way for now, when we're putting the stuff on the firewall back together and when we're putting the engine and tranny in. So I figured that'll be one of the last things that goes in. That'll be something that goes in once the engine and transmission are in place. So that's going to be pretty much it.
buttoning up the front end. Like I said, everything is still loose, besides the subframes themselves, and the steering rack, just because I want to get, obviously, everything on, the wheels on, get the weight of the car on the ground, and then be able to tighten everything after that.
So that was just a quick little button up of the front end portion of this video, just so I could get this video out to you guys. Next episode we're going to be doing firewall stuff and probably brakes at the same time, because I'm going to have to put the new booster and master on the firewall, so I might as well do brakes at the same time. So that'll be next episode. Until then, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Burnt out, and your heart makes no sound. I'll find validity.